Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Baby Turtle Accessory Set for the live-action quarter-scale Ninja Turtles. So the Baby Turtles aren't necessarily accessories, but it does come with other accessories, and it's a pretty decent set. It does come in at about $50, so whether or not it's worth it, I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure objectively it's worth it, technically speaking. I'm sure it costs that much to make, and they're not making a ton of profit on it. However, is it worth $50 for the individual buyer? I don't know. For me, I'm happy to have it, but I don't know if everybody's going to want these. So we're going to go ahead and talk about every little bit that's in here, and then you guys will be able to decide for yourself. So let's go ahead and get these guys off the stand so we can take a closer look. These guys stand only about 12 centimeters, which makes them just about, let's say about 4.5 inches, just a hair over that. And these things are basically 4 of the exact same figure, which I don't know, I was hoping for maybe a little bit of like facial expression or just something to make them a little different, and I get that they didn't exactly have a lot of facial expression or anything like that, and it might be accurate that they are all completely the same. It's not a big deal. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to sit there and really go over the baby turtles on your shelf and say, hey, they're all exactly the same. Maybe they're not supposed to be, maybe they are, I don't know, I don't think it's a big deal, but it's worth noting. The paint does vary to some extent. As you can see, the spots on the chest are not all completely identical. They kind of bounce around a little bit, but you'll see these two back here are basically the same. And then this one's kind of close to those. So I don't know, there's just a little bit of, I don't know if it's production variance or if it's actually direct purposeful variance. Either way, they are not exactly the same, so that's worth noting. As far as the articulation goes, we have what's essentially a swivel at the neck. It's a ball peg, but you don't get a ton of range out of it, just a little bit, just enough to give them a little bit of a pose. Not a whole lot of range. It's actually really good side to side, relatively speaking, of course. Not so much up and down. You do have the opening mouth, which is pretty cool. Might be a little bit stiff, but you'll be able to get that open, so that's nice, and it's nicely detailed. The sculpt on these guys is really nice, by the way. Lots of detail, all the detail you would expect from NECA out of these figures. Very, very well done. And I checked some screenshots. I watched the clip of this from the movie, and they are highly accurate. As accurate as I think you can get. So that's pretty good. As far as the shoulders go, we have a swivel hinge, or a fixed ball hinge, whatever you want to call that. So it'll rotate at the torso, and then you just have a hinge in there. So no bicep swivel. And then the thing that bugs me a little bit is that that's it for the articulation. Not even a ball peg for the hips. I was really hoping just your very standard basic ball peg like those old classic Ninja Turtles figures. We don't even have that. So that's the extent of the articulation. So having them all be the exact same sculpt, I can get past that, but I would have really liked to be able to pose them a little bit more differently across each figure. Of course, you can move the arms a little bit and the heads a little bit, and that'll be enough, I guess. But I would have really liked maybe a hinge in the elbow, maybe a swivel in the wrist. I mean, even just a ball peg at the hips or at the wrist. You know, just a little bit of articulation would have gone a long way. Luckily, they do have a really clean sculpt and a really nice paint job. Unfortunately, one of mine, as is almost always the case with any collectible I buy, there's a bit of a defect. I've got a smudge of white paint in the corner of his eye. Looks like he's got some eye booger going on. So that's kind of a bummer, but I doubt that'll be a consistent problem for anyone else. Now, as far as the accessories in this accessory pack, we do have a pizza box, which is done very, very well. It looks just like it did in the movie. I mean, it looks like a real pizza box. You have like the little sticker on top with the coupon type thing. It's all folded up to look like a real dirty pizza box. Very, very nicely done. Nice print work. It's not like pixely or anything like that, so that's cool. And it does open, of course, and you do get 4 slices of pizza. Now, they are all the same slice of pizza, but that's not a big deal. But you get 4 of them, so just like the big slices that come with the big figures, you get 4 more of those, so the little guys can hold them, or you can leave them in the box or whatever you want, and they're very nicely done. Good look there. You do get a bag of chips, which is just a piece of plastic with some foam inside, but it's a bag of corn snacks. It's pretty cool, looks nice. And you get a sticker sheet. I'm not absolutely sure what specifically these stickers are for. They look like 2 small band-aids and then like some larger bandages, and I don't know. I didn't notice anything like that in the scene I rewatched, and so maybe they're for the big turtles. I don't know. If anybody knows, go ahead and let me know about that. And then lastly, we get an additional hand for the large Michelangelo, which is just a pointing finger with a hole in it, so you can put his nunchucks on there. And they did a good job making it not look like there's an actual peg holding them in place, and they spin nicely, so that's good. Nice little hinge on the wrist, so it's pretty much your standard accessory, except they molded the the rope part rather than having it be rope. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I personally think it's fine for the price. I can see people complaining. I mean, obviously people are going to complain. That's what happens on the internet. But I think it's fine. I don't think it's necessarily a super great value, but I think it's definitely worth the money. Assuming you wanted this stuff in the first place. If you didn't, then I don't think you're going to rush out to get it. So yeah, I think it's worth getting. If you're a Turtles fan and you like the movie, you might as well pick this up. It's not that much, and you get some nice, I mean, who doesn't want the baby turtles, right? I'm sure there's a lot of you, but I don't see why you wouldn't. So there it is, guys. I recommend it, but of course, it's up to you if you want to spend the money or not. That's how it always is. So that'll do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day, give or take. Of course, when I run out of stuff, I won't have stuff, but I try to have videos up every day, and we do stream technically 6 times a week, so that kind of fills in the other spots, even though it's only on 3 different days. Anyway, lots of content for you, so make sure you come back for all of that good stuff. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and in the meantime, keep collecting.